back live, man. Come on, tap in. We back live. 50 Cent runs up on Joe Budden at Knicks game. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Thought Show. It's your host with the most, King Truth, Hosenberg, Benny Bo, the one with the word, the one with the flow, coming at you at 11:44. And yeah, man, we right here talking about this 50 Cent runs up on Joe Budden in the next game. And yeah, man, we gonna get right into it. Shout out to Chick Smooth for the content.
Chicks. Get ready.
You know what to do, Chicks.
So look at Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Well, you guys, we finally got the answers we were looking for. Did 50 apply the full court press to Joe Budden at the Knicks game? Did Joe really tell 50, hey, bruh, you don't need therapy no more. My bad, big bro. And then finally, was 50 Cent the main reason Joe left the game early? Now, I told you guys in the last video, do not beef with somebody that goes everywhere. Somebody like 50 can be in Miami one day, and while you're in Africa thinking you're safe, 50 Cent will pop out on you while you're eating some fufu. Now, today on the Joe Budden podcast, episode 819, Joe confirmed that him and 50 had no clue they were going to run into each other at the game. I've been seeing some of you guys in the comments on the last video say, yo, if anybody believes this beef between Joe and 50 is real, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Then Joe also goes on to confirm that they had a very serious conversation about their beef. Here's what Joe said.
Oh, that was a close game, fam.
It was.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't say nail biter to me
Yeah.
ever again.
All right, where y'all want to start? Seems like it's a lot to unpack. Do y'all want me to tell a story?
I want
Do y'all want to joke around?
No. We'll add our
You're sitting
commentary.
there like, yo, I hope Wallow come in here so he can.
Where the fuck is Wallow? Hello, you in New York? And he said you in Madison Square Garden right now.
Well, y'all ain't hit me to see if I was all right.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't hit me so we could ride.
I gave up on that.
Oh.
No. You call this nigga like, yo, you good? He gonna be like, yo, what the fuck you think, nigga? Yo, you be calling me with this bullshit? Yeah, you got it, fam.
All right.
Were you good?
So I had tickets to game 2 of the Pistons versus the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks won game 1.
Yeah.
Not in a beautiful fashion.
Game 1?
Yeah.
It's close.
But we won.
Mhm.
My baby was coming. It was going to be date night. It's going to be a beautiful time in motherfucking New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So, decisions to make, right?
Sure.
Phantom. You know, like, how we doing this tonight?
This is
You know what I mean?
deflection or something. I don't know what it is. It's one of them.
No,
things.
I'm telling my story.
Carry on,
What do y'all
carry
just want
on.
me to start at?
No.
When you got
lay,
ghosts?
lay it out.
Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Anyway, so I planned on being early, right? Because it's the Knicks, it's playoffs. Building was going to be packed. I imagine this to be nuts. So I had this mapped out for us to leave 30 minutes early. I'm going with my lady, so we end up running 45 minutes late.
Mhm.
But we still end up walking in at a good time. So we walk in, and we get there, and we walk in. It's a good seat right next to the Knicks bench. I'm excited.
The game started already.
No.
Oh, okay.
Great
No.
seats.
He had great seats.
Really. I don't want to talk to Mark. I don't want to hear from Mark at all because you're a little too condescending. And while I'm telling my story, I might not catch it. Great seats.
Great seats.
But they were really good seats.
Yeah, they were.
So we go, and the game didn't start yet. We made it on time in time to get our sushi, the crab
Your
meat.
sushi hot dogs.
We went and got some. No, I didn't do hot dogs.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do hot dogs. Over the weekend, I ate anything that wasn't tied down to the floor.
Same.
So I went to bed feeling really shitty and ashamed of myself. Looking forward to every number 2 I had to take. So I wasn't about to go in the garden and do my garden glizzy thing.
Okay.
We were keeping it cute tonight. Sushi, crab, water, and juice, and we go into the seat. Let's do it. and it's packed in there. Everybody is in there, boy. All of the white stars, I don't know who the fuck they are, was in there. It'd be a lot of money in the Garden.
What?
A lot of money.
Duh.
But it's different. It's
Playoff time.
Yes,
a lot.
duh.
Playoff time is crazy.
Nigga, James Dolan is in the front of behind one of the baskets in like a polo with a blazer, a lollipop, like a fisherman's hat, legs crossed, family is here. It's just like, oh, you playing just different.
Looking like a J. Crew ad.
Yeah, exactly. Then Spike is over there, and it's just some of the Jewish money is in here.
Ben Stiller, John McEnroe.
Yes, exactly. Gary V is behind me, so I'm already in phony mode, is what I'm saying.
I bet.
Gary V!
Long time no see.
No, but I do love Gary V.
Yeah.
But
It's not that.
I'm telling you, I do love him. But it's the,
Little extra sauce.
Hey, we do gotta get sushi.
lunch, buddy.
Come on. So we doing all of that. And we go, we sit down, cool, we sit there, and ain't nobody sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Fat Joe comes in with his daughter, and they sit down.
Shout out to Fat Joe.
Shout out to Fat Joe.
Shout out to Joe.
So me and my girl start talking about the Bottega outfit that Fat Joe got on. But in my head, I say, now the last few times I've seen Fat Joe in the Garden, he has been directly next to 50 Cent. And I said, wouldn't that be funny? If those are it's only 2 seats left. They right in front of us. Those are the only 2 empty ones. And sure enough, as God would have it, 50 comes in. And my man, I'm breaking freeze right now. Yeah, Eve, shout out to Eve. So I dap Eve, and 50 just sit down, but he don't see me. But his man sees me, but he don't see me. And Fat Joe knows I'm here, but he don't see me. All right, the game started. Yeah, we watching. Fuck it. We watching the game now.
Were you quiet? Not cheer.
No.
Not cheer too loud.
Your stomach was talking.
I was about to say his heart was pounding. He couldn't hear nothing. He couldn't hear the game.
Hey, his heartbeat sound like Sasquatch.
Right, exactly. Marv Albert turning around and shit. Like, oh, fuck is that?
Did you change your
Somebody
yellow
let some
voice?
doves in the building.
Now you have a decision to make in this moment, right? Because contrary to whatever the internet is saying, I don't think there's a problem. So when he sit down, I want to grab him by his shoulder and say something to him.
Didn't do that though.
Only because my girl is here.
Sure.
That is the only reason that you just look too pussy, right? Doing that. Corey, you want your clothes now?
How?
Corey
How's
can't
that
help
pussy?
himself.
What?
If that's your normal thing,
No.
Yeah, look.
I'm
If people think
no.
y'all got beef and then you like, hey, buddy,
Yeah. Nah.
you don't look pussy. in
Every
general.
camera in the world is on in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every celebrity is out.
And you right there.
Your girl is here.
Right.
We buy Thibodeau.
You're not
nigga.
underneath the basket or something where you can be
Yeah.
out the way a little bit.
When he see me, he'll see me. We'll kick it. We'll chop it.
Right.
But to do the extend shoulder, hey, I'm right behind you. It's the pussiest shit I've
listen to
heard.
the toxic masculinity.
That is the pussy. I don't care what you
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
That to me, what y'all think?
Oh,
I don't think that. If that's your
That's-
norm, and that's something I normally do, you and 50 Cent ain't beefing.
Of course we not beefing.
Of course. So if that's your normal thing, like if it would have been none of this stuff happened, and he walked in and he sat down and he didn't see you, you'd have been like, yo.
No, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't. I don't do that.
That's all right.
When I'm outside, I'm not the initiated, be seen guy. I'm
You're
really low.
sitting right
But that's
by-
not
go
important.
ahead.
That's a
Keep
real
going.
life thing.
Yeah.
It don't matter right
Yeah.
now. So I'm not doing that because my girl is here and we not pussy.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I
Fuck
would
you
do
talking
that.
about. And then what happens? Oh, so now this is why it's funny. Because there's famous levels in the Garden.
For sure.
Mhm.
You were level 2.
I'm not level 2.
3.
I'm a different
He's
level.
in row 2. He's level like 5.
Oh.
Nah, he might be like 3.
Don't do that.
What's up, bro? We gonna do the Kevin Gates one after this. Shannon
Three.
Sharp.
Three is fair. You level 3.
I say it to say my garden experience is never being the famous guy in the garden.
They'll
sitting
put
in
you
the
on the
front
little
with
celebrity
the
shit.
pictures. No, y'all hear me talk. I come in here and talk shit, saying I'm more famous than half of them little white kid actors they be putting up there. But it's not about that, and I'm low. So Fat Joe and 50 Cent being in front of me means that this is about to be a different thing. And it's some black people in this garden that know me, so they know what this situation is.
Okay.
So they look at So every time the little white lady come over to Fat Joe and 50 Cent with some big time celebrity shit, there's black people around. I see what's going on. Cool. So I say to my girl, yo, if they come over here with that celebrity camera shit, I'm wrapping my set. Because I have to. I have to, just because it's here. She said, don't you dare do that shit. This shit gonna be all over the internet. I said, I have to do it. And sure enough, they came over. And I looked, and I said, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. And then, and 5 minutes after that, I think he seen me after that. Well, actually, in my story, he didn't see me. It's always her that's making it hot. You seen her. You turn around. And he said, oh, shit, Joe. And then we spoke. The nature of the conversation will remain between
We
us.
apologized
But
and
we
kept it pushing.
Please, sir.
no.
Not tonight.
We had a good talk.
Just to the start of the fourth. Just let me stay to the start of the fourth.
Please, sir.
Get this shit off. Have fun.
Not in front of my girl, please.
Not in front of my kids, Gus. Not in front of my kids.
Texting Fat Joe on the low, like, yo,
Right.
can you make us cool?
Hey, yo.
Oh,
Yo,
shit.
that nigga that called Lloyd Banks. Everybody.
Yo, y'all are so dumb. But it's fun. So now, but wait now, because before any of this even happens, nigga, when I tell you my phone is on absolute fire in here, my phone is buzzing in a way that it's never buzzed before with people that I didn't even know watched basketball. Everybody is up. My aunt is up. The children is up. And back to this leaving at the end of the game, because I see this is a thing.
Yeah.
And Mark is new, so he don't know. I'm going to leave before the game is over.
In a playoff game,
It is
Oh,
a nail biter.
It wasn't a nail biter.
It wasn't elbow.
It was not a nail biter. By the time we left, we had missed the shot that would bring us within 4. We was down like 5 or 6 with 2 minutes left. It looked.
you don't think being down 5 in a playoff game is a
5
winnable
with 2
game?
minutes left, and y'all was going body shot for body shot.
That's not what was happening in that fourth.
I watched the whole.
Now, I'm glad these guys were able to speak and hash out their issues, but Joe was definitely potting when he said he didn't think him and 50 had any issues, especially after Joe confirmed last month that 50 Cent was the main reason why he left the strip club early. Now, it's also going to be interesting moving forward to see if Joe is going to change how he talks about people, especially people who he knows he might run into, especially when you got a big platform like the Joe Budden podcast. A lot of people tune into it. A lot of people are going to hear what you think about them. And sometimes they might not be as rational as 50 Cent. Listen, man, you guys get in the comments below. Do you guys buy Joe's story about seeing 50 Cent at the Knicks game? Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.
Hello. Hello.
video?
So basically, they seen each other, but nothing really went down. Even though, Joe's saying the narrative, saying he needs therapy. Uh, let's see this one.
50 Cent makes Joe Budden leave the Knicks game early, and 50's man said he was going to rob Joe. Yeah, at the Knicks game yesterday, 50 Cent and Joe Budden would cross paths yet again. Joe Budden would have to leave the game early, and I largely think it was because he wanted to avoid anything that would happen as a result of his recent comments about 50 Cent that made him angry. Now, we also have to look at what his girl said, and here's what she said as a result of leaving early. I had a blast on date night with Bay at the Knicks game, even though we had to dip 2 minutes early because it was so packed in there and the liquor had me. Now, this seems like a big excuse, largely because that Nick Piston game was pretty close towards the end, and it's shocking that Joe, such a big Nick fan, would leave that early. But there was also another issue. 50's friend or peoples would post that they were also at the Knicks game and said they wanted to take Joe Budden's chain, but 50 said no. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. He truly gave him grace. And that whole night was really, really awkward because Joe Budden was positioned directly behind 50 Cent and Fat Joe. And it just looked like something was going to happen. But it looks like 50 Cent would speak to Joe Budden, giving him sort of a hug or a bear hug. And I know a lot of people might think it was a pleasant exchange, but we don't know what was said. 50 could have been like, yo, if you ever do that again, I'm going to really violate you. So please stop playing with me. I don't know. Anything could have happened. 50 even went online and posted an interesting comment saying that he ran into Joe at the game and Joe Budden said that he doesn't need therapy anymore. But everything ended pretty well. But Joe Budden leaving the game early tells me that this was a tricky situation for him to navigate. And I think when they do the podcast tomorrow, you're going to see Joe Budden just make light of it and not really say too much. This is
Yeah, he
all as
did.
a
You're right.
result of when Irv Gotti passed away and 50 Cent commented that he was, smoking on his ops or something like that. Didn't really show any grace because there's a whole bunch of history between Murder Inc. and 50 Cent. And Joe Budden would comment that 50 Cent needs therapy. And there was a whole bunch of other issues where Joe Budden would be at a bar or some type of club and 50 Cent's mans was there. So Joe Budden got right up out of there and 50 would post on Instagram that, hey, I heard you ran out the club. It's getting spooky. So there's a lot of things going on. 50 Cent is making it real uncomfortable for Joe Budden in New York City. And he's not even lifting a finger. That's a certain type of power that he has. And, 50, he casts a wide shadow over the New York hip hop scene, even if he lives in Texas and he comes to New York I don't think he lives in New York all the time. So as you can see, there's a lot of moving pieces. But let me know what you think. Do you think Joe Budden left the game early because his girl was saucy? She looked fine to me, I must say. She did not look like she was that drunk where they couldn't enjoy the final minutes of a close game. I do wonder how Joe will treat 50 Cent moving forward in terms of his commentary on air. We also have to remember that
Yeah, it did seem like Joe made a lot of light of it, and the way he said it was like, oh, they had a good conversation. He wouldn't speak on what the conversation was. They did have to leave early due to it being packed. I don't know, man. It does seem like shit is shaky between them still. What y'all think? Let me know some in the comments. And would y'all like to see one more video about this, or you want me to go to the next one? Let me know some.
He took down that video where he made the initial comments about 50 Cent needing therapy. So there's a lot of impact of those words. And to close, I'm not mad at it. Ain't nothing wrong with just knowing when to fold. You got to know when to fold. You got to know who means business. And I think Joe Budden found that out really quickly, as you can see the way he acted this night and the way he's been moving as a result of his commentary about 50 Cent needing mental health. All right, y'all. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. Follow me on Patreon. I have a lot of content there in terms of podcast streams and Twitter Space audio, which are kind of like my podcast. And you're going to have a good time. There's a lot. There's like 150 pieces of content. So it's not like there's nothing there. You can binge it. It's only $3.
Yeah, man. Shit. Shout out to Stop TV for this stop. Let's hear this right here. I want to hear this situation spoke on by Adam and Wack about the situation of Joe leaving the club a month ago.
Joe Budden basically acknowledged that on the most. I think you need to put in a call to 50 Cent and tell him leave Joe Budden alone, because apparently Joe Budden was chased out
Hell yeah, he is.
by 50's goons.
Did 50 say that?
Joe Budden basically acknowledged that on the most recent episode of his podcast.
So he's assuming they're 50's goons.
Okay, 50 posted and basically said something about Joe Budden getting chased out of a club called Mermaids, I believe. I think it's in Queens or Brooklyn or something. He called him out for it. Everybody thought Joe was not going to respond to it, but then Joe on his podcast today, shout out to Danny from The Stop. I wouldn't know this if it wasn't for him, but he basically played a clip from his podcast in which Joe more or less admitted and acknowledged that he was essentially chased out of the strip club and maybe changing his tune.
Listen, if Joe admitted he was chased out of the strip club, that's one thing. But to say there were 50's goons is another thing.
Men that 50 Cent to deal with it. Who knows? It could have been 50 himself on the way.
He might know him. You know what I'm saying? But that don't make them his goons. What are y'all trying to do? Build a case on 50?
I mean, it feels like 50 kind of acknowledged it. Joe kind of acknowledged it. It doesn't really feel like we're doing much to build a case.
But I don't think they wanted to get him, because these days when you're getting chased, there's only one thing that gets the people pursuing you off of you.
Death.
You got to have something to bag them up. Somebody chasing you and they want to get you. Either they just BSing in front like they want to do something to you, want to see you run, or you did something in defense to bag them up enough so you can get away.
I don't want to tell Joe Budden how he should be moving around, but I think Joe Budden needs to have personal armed security with him at any given time. There should not be an option that somebody can just show up to a club and chase you out of there.
Joe's not going to do that.
Keep security with him? I mean, I know he has security at least some of the time. I
don't believe Joe moves around with security.
I've seen videos of him moving around with security.
I've seen Joe. They got videos of Joe out eating with his chick, people walking up.
No, that's true too. And when I went to do his podcast, it was like regular ass apartment in Queens, and it was just the basement. There was no security. They were acting like they weren't famous.
Yeah, I think Joe was like on whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Can he summon security? Definitely can. Why he's not? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get away from that element and keep it out his mouth.
He was also making fun of me for having security when I was in New York that time.
Who was?
Joe.
Yeah, well, that's because Joe ain't. Joe should have security.
He just switched it up. Like,
he should, but he's not, because he's Joe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Joe's like, do what you're gonna do.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel too.
And I think,
not in Chicago,
don't get it wrong,
yeah.
Joe got some people that love him, that'll move with him. But I really think Joe is, over the last decade or so, been kind of like moving away from dealing with that element of it.
Yeah.
And the 50 Cent side of it is really not a threat, because 50's a businessman. He's a mogul. He's going to talk his shit.
And keep in mind, this is
But I don't think 50's sending nobody to get you.
This is all because Joe said that 50 needs to do therapy. Which is not the most aggressive thing to respond
That is,
with deadly violence
telling
to,
a
you know?
telling a black man he need to do some therapy is crazy.
Well, posting about another man dying and saying that you're smoking on him for 50, that is kind of crazy. Like, that is, I don't think that Joe saying that is so outrageous. And I understand why he did it, and I don't hold it against 50, but I mean, that's pretty wild behavior.
That's crazy.
If I told my therapist, hey, this guy I hate died, and so I posted about it to my, 20 million Instagram followers, I think she would probably say that, like, maybe we should double up this week, do two sessions. Therapy might be necessary for anyone who's doing that. And I understand he tried to get you killed. So I get it. For sure, if somebody tried to get me killed and they died, I would probably be having fun with it privately. I don't think I would do it on Instagram. What are you reading? You okay?
Yeah, looking at the game tour. European tour.
Okay.
March 1st through April 6th.
Do you want to wrap this up by going through Academics' top media personalities?
Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg. He's definitely jealous of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Did you see that? So Ray J had a Vlad clip, and Suge called in and basically proceeds to like rant for 5 to 10 minutes, calling Snoop a bitch, all this other shit. It's pretty hard to even understand what point he's trying to get across, honestly. He just sounded like a madman.
It's been a lot of things people don't know, right? Before Suge even went to jail, him and Snoop ran into each other in Vegas.
Okay.
Snoop had a security with him. Suge was by himself. Snoop told the security, "Now fall back, let me holler at you." And he said, "I'm finna check in, do my thing. I'm gonna come to your room. Give me your room number." Snoop went to Suge's room and sat there for like an hour, 2 hours. Chopped it up with him, kicked it with him, no problems. Since he's been gone, he has conversation with him. They even reached out to Snoop and asked him what they would charge to clear some music if Suge needed to use it for, whatever he wanted to do. Snoop, out of respect, said, "I'm not going to charge you nothing." Right? It's love. So it's crazy. It's like 1 minute, one-on-one, you this way. And then when you get in front of people, when the light is on you, you act like it's a whole nother way. That's the crazy part about it. You can't really find no clips of Snoop Dogg being disrespectful. You'll hear him say, "I love Suge. Suge got me started. Suge put me in the game, regardless of what it was. You know what I mean? He was there for me at times I needed him to be." So I don't understand why all of a sudden he'd jump on that platform. He was mad because I got Ray J that interview. He wanted Vlad to pay him a certain amount of money. Vlad said, "This is all I'm going to pay you. This is all you worth." You know how bro is. And I guess he was upset that Ray J was up there and the topic of Death Row came up. Ray J could talk about Death Row. The times he was there, he was definitely around. He could talk about owning your rights. I got the contract. He still owns them today. He about the 10th, 11th person in line, but he owns them. You signed them over. Signed them over.
When I was watching that clip, I was like, if this was me, I would never talk to this person again. Like, the Suge just seemed like he had no respect for Ray J. He's just not communicating in any way that made me feel as if I were Ray J, that I would want to continue this relationship. And then Ray J speaks about him in glowing terms and says, "That's the homie."
That's it.
That's it. Huh?
People don't report that you snitching for something that happened to you.
All right.
Joe Budden basically.
We finna be up out of here, man. So the next one, man. Culture, stay right here, bro. We coming right back. Good one, peace and all that.